Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of a situation going on with a Neuro Sama clipper. Now, this is a bit of a problem because obviously it seems like some clippers are getting strikes, are getting taken down, and it is pretty terrible to see overall, right? Because essentially what has happened is one clipper called Kraul, you guys probably know, they make some very, very great Neuro Sama clips and stuff. They said they gave my channel a full copyright strike because I manually added Bone Truzel as background music to a Neuro Sama video I edited. It wasn't in the original stream, and the song was never used for training generation, remixing, or any AI process. This is absurd. So essentially, yeah, they dropped this kind of thing the other day, saying that they've clarified our policy regarding Gen AI and AI assisted technologies. To avoid issues, please read and understand these policies prior to engaging with technologies which may violate Materia's rights. They say, we do not permit our music to be submitted or trained or on by unlicensed or unauthorized third parties. We do not permit creators to cover songs, to use AI or AI-assisted technologies that require training on our melodies. We do not permit AI-generated recordings containing our melodies on any platforms. We do not permit our music to be used with conjunction with any AI content, AI personas, VTubers, agents on any platform. Unauthorized usage strictly enforced and is subject to DMCA notices, strikes, and further escalation. So yeah, they're essentially saying they don't want to be associated with anything AI, which is interesting because, of course, as we know, Neuro Sama is an AI VTuber, right? They literally single out VTubers specifically here within the message that they've given out, and it seems like they're hitting these clip channels, right? They're hitting these clip channels with copyright strikes. They say what makes it even worse is they only publicly clarified this sweeping AI policy after issuing the strike. I had no reason to manually adding normal background music to a Neuro Sama video would be treated as prohibited AI use. So maybe you could ask Vedal for help. So what are you going to do now? People saying what a scammy way to update their policy, specifically strike at Neuro. Updating their policy after striking down videos that have been fine is really scummy and is probably illegal, or at least should be. Saying at Toby Fox, an edit, mind you, of an AI VTuber, and Materia took it down. So yeah, obviously people are adding Toby Fox because if you don't know, the big reason as to why this is an issue for many people is because of what they own, right? Essentially, they own a lot of video game music. They are, the owners behind music of Guild Wars, Undertale, Deltarune, Celeste, Pizza Tower, and hundreds of other games, right? So essentially, yeah, they, are the publishers behind that and, own it. And essentially are the ones that will be carrying out the copyright strikes and whatever on behalf of the games or whatever. And it's a big problem because music from Undertale and Deltarune get used a lot within YouTube Shorts and within, YouTube clips as well, right? I've used Deltarune tracks and stuff on mine. Now, obviously, I don't have any AI aspects in any of my shorts or anything like that, so, should be fine, right? But of course, what they've given Kraul a strike on is the fact that, they've used a clip of Neuro Sama and then put, whatever music they Bone Truzel. I don't know if that's an Undertale track. I'm not too familiar with it. But again, obviously they've used some kind of track that they own, right? And they've used it as a background music to a Neuro Sama video that they edited, right? So they're essentially saying that you're not allowed to even put music over the top of a Neuro Sama video, else they're going to strike you, which obviously is a problem not just for the clippers of Neuro Sama, but also for Neuro Sama themselves, right? I know they don't usually use, music of video games and stuff, but it definitely does limit them, especially if more companies start to do this, right? Because, again, the music isn't being trained on anything. I can understand protecting the music from being trained, as like because, obviously music gets put into like a machine and then they use that to kind of make similar style music using AI, right? That's not that isn't what's going on. They're essentially just adding a music over a clip of a VTuber. And yeah, it sucks, right? And of course, they make lots and lots of clips of, Neuro Sama. They do very, very well. And again, they are a great clipper. It just sucks to see that, essentially they're being taken down for a pretty, bad reason, right? I feel like you should be able to do this. I feel like this shouldn't be a thing. But of course it is happening, right? People saying it's honestly ridiculous. I don't even agree with them using it to take down the covers Neuro Sang, let alone when I know Toby Fox has said before he's okay with people using Undertale/Deltarune music. So they decided just just decided that because Neuro is technically an AI, you using the background music you added was a breach of their policies. Crazy. And yeah, I think it is pretty crazy as well, because like it's not even like it's Neuro Sama directly using it. It's a clip. It's an editor of someone else using it to put it over another clip, right? They don't own Neuro Sama. Kraul doesn't own Neuro Sama or anything like that, right? But it is pretty interesting to see that, they're taking down those kinds of videos. So if you are a editor of a clip channel or whatever, and you're covering Neuro Sama or even any other AI related VTuber or personality or anything like that, be careful on exactly what music you use, because it seems like you could get taken down and even given a full copyright strike because of this, which again I think is absolutely crazy. Now again, I don't know exactly what they mean by a full copyright strike. I don't know if that means they've got like one of the 3 strikes on YouTube, or if they've just taken down the video. But again, it is still crazy that that is the case, especially when again Toby Fox and people like that have been so vocal about letting anybody use the music in their videos and stuff, and using it to create background music, because it is good background music, right? That's why people use it, and why it's so heavily used within VTuber clips. So it's going to be interesting to see as well how well this is actually implemented too, because of course they've struck down Kraul because of the whole Neuro Sama AI thing, but are they going to start striking down YouTube channels with regular VTubers that aren't using AI at all? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it's going to be pretty worrying if that starts happening, because again, lots of people have used it in the past, so they could potentially get them for that as well, which I think is again pretty worrying for some people. And lots of people have been kind of pretty up in arms about this, right? So I'm not saying oh no, this is just other posts. Okay, never mind. So yeah, again, that's essentially all there is for this situation. I just kind of wanted to cover it because, again, I do think it's pretty ridiculous. And I do hope that Kraul manages to sort things out, maybe even get into contact with Vedal, because obviously it does, it is not just an issue for Clippers, as I said. It's an issue for Neuro Sama and anybody that wants to cover Neuro Sama. And it kind of limits Neuro Sama's growth as well. That is essentially what they are doing, right? But yeah, we'll have to see if there's any kind of updates on that in the future. And of course, I will update you guys if there is anything that goes on in the future, right? But yeah, that's essentially all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to game subs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.